RBS Business Research Academy welcomes to you in lecture number 24. In this lecture, I'm going to discuss about the second approach of the moderation analysis. Dear viewers, as you know that in order to perform the moderation in the smart PDS, there are the three approaches. The product indicator approach, a two-stage approach, and auto-analyzing approach. So these three approaches are there. In the video number 23, I have discussed theoretically and practically the importance and the process of applying product indicator approach. In this video 24 part 1, that is a completely a theoretical video where I have discussed about the different concepts about the two-stage the approach to perform the moderation analysis in the smart PDS. So as the same way, I have wonderful chapter number 13 that has been written by the Ramaya, a very famous trainer and the professor in the field of the social sciences. So that's why I thought this is a wonderful document to report all the important things from this document to all of you. So here, this one is a partial square equation modeling. So now directly we are going on our target that's about the two-stage approach. So now this is the two-stage approach. So now we're discussing some important concept of the two-stage approach. So first of all, as you know that this one idea of this one was floated by the Chin 2003 and the Fawcett Hensler in the 2060s. As further, it was clarified or developed by the Hensler Fawcett in the 2010. The idea of the two-stage approach was initially suggested by the Chin et al. In the 2003, and then the Fawcett and Hensler also elaborated more in the 2016. So this is somewhat about the history of this approach. And then another thing is about if the exogenous variable, especially the exogenous means here your independent variable. And now, if the exogenous variable are IV or the moderator is a formative, the pairwise multiplication of the indicator is not feasible. That's clear. Dear viewers, as you know that in the product indicator approach, what we were doing that we were creating multiplication effect of the independent variable and the moderator, and then collectively we were applying the impact. That means applying this interaction term as a moderator on the dependent variable, because your IV as well as your moderator both were the reflective. So now here either one or two. Now here the IV are moderator. If any one or both are in the formative, then the multiplication is not feasible. Is it possible? But it's not feasible. So that's why this approach was developed from the researchers to solve the problem of the researcher, especially when they are dealing the different type of the latent variable at the same time. If the all latent variable are in reflective, there is no any problem. But if there's a mix of the formative and the reflective, then that's the issue. So that's why there is a reason of the creation of this two-stage approach. So now, if you are unable to differentiate between the reflective and the formative, then my two videos are available on my YouTube channel. Here you are looking the image of these two videos, and then I personally suggest you please go back and first watch these two videos, and then it will be very easy for you to understand all the concepts which have been discussed in this one, especially the formative indicators, latent variable, and the reflective indicator or reflective latent variable. Okay, so since some formative indicators are now assumed to reflect the same underlying product. Okay, so now it's not possible that your indicator has somewhat the correlation with each other. Now, in case of the formative, most of the indicators, they are independent from each other and very low relationship they have with the others one. In case of the reflective, there is a high correlation between the two independent variable. So that's why in the formative, either there is no minimum or very less correlation is there. So that's why we can call it all are independent for one in either one in other. And myriad effect is not possible. So it's not possible as well. It's not feasible. So there's a product indicator between the two set of formative indicators will not necessarily tap into the same underlying interaction effect. So that's another reason. That's why we are working on the formative, or when that's why that's the reason of the creation of this approach. Okay, and then another thing, instead of using product indicator approach, Fassett et al. 2016 and Hensler 2010 similarly articulated the two-stage PLS approach for estimating moderating effect, in particular when formative constructs are involved. So that's why they're suggesting that if you have the formative construct, then it is better to apply the two-stage approach instead of applying the product indicator approach. Okay, and then another thing is the two-stage approach makes use of PLS path modeling advantage of the explicitly estimating latent variable score. Two-stage are built up as follows. Okay, so now that is another reason that two-stage approach makes the PLS path modeling advantage when you are going to estimate the latent variable score. So now this we can perform in the two manner, in the two stage. The stage number one, in the first stage, what we have to do that we have to that the main effect of PLS model is to run to obtain the estimate for the latent variable scale. First, we have to measure the score of the latent variable. In other terms, we can say that the effect of the moderator, effect of the independent variable on the dependent variable. So first, we have to calculate the effects of these two variable on the dependent variable. That's a stage number one. And in the other words, we can say that the researchers should run algorithm to calculate the latent variable score standardized. So we can say that first we have to run the algorithm to calculate the effect, and these scores should be standardized. Now there's a difference between unstandardized and standardized. In the previous approach, in the product indicator approach, I used unstandardized scores, but here we have to use the standardized score. How to find and where these are located, you will when you will watch my practical video of the two-stage approach, I will be able to distinguish between the standardized and unstandardized. Alternatively, you can also watch the video number 23, part 2, where practically I have performed the your product indicator approach over there. So I have distinguished over there the difference between the standardized and unstandardized. So here we have to use the standardized approach to calculate the path approaches here. And then if you are going down, now here, this is our model. So this is exogenous or independent variable, this is a moderator, and this is exogenous. So here, very important clarification is there. So now, frequently we are talking about the reflective and the formative. So now, this is the formative in latent variable, because if you look at the arrow is pointing from the indicator to the latent variable, and in this case, the arrow is pointing from the latent variable to its indicator. So this one is our M1, M2 moderator is our reflective, and our independent variable X, that is a formative. So that's the difference among between the reflective and the formative. So if we go down further here, this is our stage number 2. In stage number 2, first we have to this is our stage number 2. In the stage number 2, we have to create the interaction term where X is independent variable and Y is a moderator. X and M is a moderator, is built up as an element-wise product of the latent variable score of the XM. This interaction term as well as latent variable score of the XM are used as independent variable in the multiple regulation on the latent variable score of the Y. So now here we have to apply this moderator there is a combination or interaction of the independent variable and the moderator. And individually, we have also checked the impact of the x on the dependent variable. In other term, that is also a multiple linear regression. Okay, in other words, latent variable scores from the stage one. Okay, so in the stage number one, first we have to calculate the scores of the latent variable. Will become the indicator of exogenous and the endogenous and moderator, and these will become, it's stage number two. Now these will be the exogenous, endogenous, and the moderator. Again, I'm repeating, exogenous means independent variable, endogenous means the dependent variable. Okay, and now here it's clear from here that what we are going to do. So first one, this is our x independent variable. This one is a y is our dependent variable. LVS means the latent variable score, and this is our moderator, which is written A, and this is the combination or interaction of the independent variable and the moderator, where x is for the independent variable and m is for the moderator. So further, we are coming down. So a very important thing is that when to use this approach. That's very important question. Normally, it may arise in your mind when we should use the two-stage approach. So in this regard, again, the Hensel and Chin, they are suggesting us that the two-stage approach is applicable when the formative measures are involved in the model. So now, first of all, when any formative measure is involved, then you have to use that two-stage approach, regardless of its exogenous construct or a moderator. So now here, the main story are start with that means that whenever you have the independent variable or moderator, anyone or both, if they are formatively measure latent variable, then we have to use two-stage approach. Okay, now another thing is about the dependent variable. Dependent variable, it may be formatively measured or it may be reflectively measured. That's not a problem. So now we have to decide when to use this approach, especially when your exogenous independent variable or moderator, anyone or both, if they are formative, then we have to choose this approach. Okay, and then although the Chin and Fawcett limited the use of two-stage approach to cases when the exogenous or moderator variable are both are formative, this limitation is not mandatory. So it's not mandatory because these two researchers, Shin and Fawcett, they say that whenever you have the anyone exogenous or moderator, if they are formative or both one, then we have to use. So others says it's not necessary, it's not mandatory. It can be applied. Now, this is another thought given by the Hare et al. Now, it can also be applied model when with the interaction effect among the all constructs that are measured by the reflective indicators. Okay, so this notion was highlighted by the Hare et al. And Hensler, that the choice of the method depends on the aim of the analysis. Now, this two-stage approach you can also apply in case when you are all the variable, latent variable, they are they are reflective, even though in this case you can apply this approach, there's no any problem. That means that this approach is not only mandatory when you have the reflective formatively measured independent variable or your moderator. So in both cases you can apply. So especially the choice of the method depends on the aim. What is your aim, what you want to do? Okay, so now here when the objective is determined, the whether or not moderator exerts a significant effect on the relationship, the two-stage approach is preferred. So that means whenever you want to, when the objective is determined that the effect, either the moderator is significant, has a significant impact on the relationship, now the two-stage approach is preferred. Okay, and this approach yields the most accurate estimate of the single effect, and it is higher statistical power in comparing to the product indicator approach or orthogonalization. So statistically, we can say this is more powerful than the orthogonalizing and the product indicator approach. However, it has some downside. So one of the major downside is that the key advantage of two-stage approach is that the moderating effect is not taken into account when estimating latent variable score. So when you are going to estimate latent variable, at that time we do not take into account the score or the moderator variable. So this may have a negative, this may have the problem issue with your analysis. The effect that the two-stage approach is limited information approach is a key reason to prefer the product indicator approach. That's why the Chen suggested that this is the only reason. That's why we have to prefer the product indicator approach over the two-stage approach. That it is a limited information, a limited information approach. So in this case, we have to prefer the product indicator approach. But again, the product indicator approach has its own issue, and that's a big issue of that one. It has there's a problem of the multicollinearity. So in most of the cases, the multicollinearity is a big issue because unnecessarily it is inflating the R square, is unnecessarily inflating your coefficients of your results. So that's why there's a big issue with the product indicator approach. Okay, and now the both the mistake cases are before you. Now it is up to you. That means which type of the approach you are going to choose, either the two-stage approach or the product indicator approach. So in this regard, you can also consult with your supervisor whether which one I should choose whenever you are going to apply the moderation in the smart PLS. So at the end, thank you very much for watching it completely. So again, you are requested to take care of yourself as a take care of this channel by subscribing it, by like the referring to the other friend. So at the end, thank you very much.